And good Tuesday afternoon. It is Ryan Belmore, owner and publisher of What's Up Newp. Frank Prosnich joins me. And Frank, how are you?
I'm doing okay, Ryan. How are you?
Doing all right. And we're going to dive right into it because I know he is a busy man. He doesn't need an intro. He is Governor Dan McKee. Now, hi, Governor.
Hi, Ryan. Hi, Frank. Good to see
How
you.
you doing, Governor? Good to see you.
Yes. Oh, yeah. This has been an interesting time frame. I'm on day 56.
Well, at least we know you can count. So,
I know. I hope the heck I can count. I'm trying
yeah,
to,
I know. Excellent.
I'm counting all the vaccinations. I think that we're approaching 63% now of first doses in the vaccines. And boy, the municipalities have really stepped up and joined the effort.
Governor, 56 days in, is there one day that so far that's really been the pinnacle?
That is a good question. I guess it was day one. Certainly it was day one, because of the work that we did, Ryan, leading up to that. It was tremendous amount of workload. Remember, we did the transition, first time ever a governor transitioned without a transition budget. It was all done through volunteers and people that were in my network. So that was like running a campaign for office. That's how tiring it was to get the budget ready, get up to speed on the COVID operations. So I think day one, not that the pressure was off, but at least it was a little different. At least now I could, get to work.
Governor, I have a question relative to, a lot of questions out there about events. I presume the state is not going to require people to have a passport to go into events, and that would be the decision of individual groups, but not a mandate from the state.
Yeah, that we'll work with anybody that wants to, make that a condition, but we're not going to mandate it. We're working with the universities right now. Several of the universities are going to make it, to get on the campus, just like a chickenpox shot. They're going to make that a vaccination part of the requirements to become, to get on campus in the fall. We're going to help them all with vaccination. So we're helping businesses right now with the testing, so that they can open up the events. And also, if they want to require shots, we'll work with in advance. If they know who's coming to the event, whether it's in state or out of state, we'll work with that. Right today, as an example, we'll be at Amgen this week doing shots. We'll be at Electric Boat doing shots. Tomorrow, I'll be there at Electric Boat. So we'll take every event or every possibility and use that as an opportunity to vaccinate people.
Go ahead, Ryan. Ryan, you're muted.
I am muted. There I go. I was trying not to interrupt you.
Well, it was really interesting.
Governor,
I'm trying to read your lips.
That's it. Just to follow up on the events question, a lot of people are trying to plan events in Newport this summer, Newport County. What should they be expecting as they're planning? Will their patrons have to show a negative test and a vaccine card? And then you notice in the new restrictions that there's no capacity limit, but over so many, you still need to get DBR approval.
Yeah, well, I think it's smart to work with DBR. They're trying to make these things happen under my leadership. We want to make these events be positive, and we want them to make sure that they're successful. So we encourage people to be in touch with DBR. They're going to be very helpful to make these events a success. I was just hearing that there's a consideration right now, for instance, on the Newport Jazz Festival, to take a look at the current data that we have and potentially even increase the amount of people that can attend those events. So we're always looking at it. So that's why they should be working, Ryan, with the DBR, because as conditions change, my directive has been even as we lead up to an event, if we can give more flexibility in that event, we're going to do it leading up to it. So right now they can get a snapshot. They can start planning. We know events take 6 weeks, 10 weeks to plan. So we want to give them the head start. That's why we started announcing the reopening for Memorial Day weekend as being our most aggressive step so far. And then the Mother's Day, if people hear this before Mother's Day, go make your reservation at your brunch or lunch. We want to make sure that they're successful a successful day for our businesses.
So am I correct that with outdoor events, there's no limitation on the number of people? So how would that affect the Jazz Festival, the Folk Festival, the Charlestown Seafood Festival? Are they at this point, as they look out, and these are events that are held in late July or early August, are they looking at it with limited numbers, or there's no limitation, and are they looking at any kind of social distancing?
All right, Frank, I think you got me there. I think that there's still some restriction in terms of the number of people, but it certainly is increasing. I think that you're working through, as Ryan said, as I was suggested, through DBR. Each event is being looked at independently in terms of what the capacities are. But it is loosening up quite a bit. Like I said, the outside events are really going to happen, large and small. The capacity for weddings outside are increased, as well as inside different events. So I think that it's a moving effort. It's a working document, Frank. So everybody should be kind of continually looking at where we are and then seeking out that advice. And what the idea is, we want to be providing really positive type of interaction with people who are doing events. It's not meant to be restrictive. It's meant to be, constructive. So have them contact the DPR.
Governor, I heard you mention on another platform that you had invited Dr. Fauci to Newport Jazz Festival. Has he RSVP'd?
He hasn't yet, but I was saying, I was actually talking to someone today. He's like, I'll buy the tickets. I offered to a lieutenant governors that they were on like a impromptu roast as I was going from lieutenant governor to around the country. And I said, I offered to them too, look, I'll buy the tickets. You get to Newport. So I'm doing a head count right now, but that reminds me, I got to get back to the doctor. He actually showed some interest when I was talking to him. He was on the call today. I was on a White House call today that we have weekly with the National Governors Association, all the governors, along with the White House, and Dr. Fauci gave a presentation. I think I'm gonna have to sidebar the invitation to him again. I think he'll take us up on it. By the way, I'll just get the dates and find out what days we got the tickets.
Well, maybe he can do the testing as people go in.
I think that would be great. I think that he's definitely has been a steadfast person in this whole effort and well respected. So I have had the private conversation one, but Ryan, I'm going to circle back before the end of the week and ask him that question again, as I did with lieutenant governors from Montana, South Dakota, Vermont was on that roast, and I all invited them down. I figure we're opening up for the summer. We want as many people to come in and do business with and support our economy.
Where are we going to be with international travel? Is that still out at this point, coming into Rhode Island?
Yeah, I think that's being relaxed. I think that we're now able to travel. I believe that was something that came out today, Frank, in international travel, so that we're going to be able to travel, and that they're accepting the United States into that travel circle. We'll be doing the same thing. There is travel that's going on right now, but it's you gotta really you gotta be vaccinated. You gotta be you gotta be tested. So I expect that all going to open up. Frank, this is part of our economy that we need to make sure that we're paying attention to.
Governor, covering the vaccine appointments every single day, every single week, we saw it completely full to all of a sudden vaccines available at the start of last week. Did that shock you as much as it shocked everybody, that all of a sudden vaccines are just there and nobody's signing up for them?
So I'm glad you asked that question, Ryan, because I think that the media reports are getting a missing really important component here, right? We received 50,000 more doses of vaccine over and above our allotment early last week. So those 50,000 appointments, we put into the appointments. Last week, we vaccinated more people in any 6-day period since we've started. We approached almost 100,000 shots. The state has the capacity to do as much as 160,000. So I think that the point is that, was I surprised that there were some appointments that are available? No, because we just put in an additional 50,000 shots. So I think that I think that you have to take that into consideration, right? The fact that you flooded so many more appointments. And the reason that we were able to get that is that the state of Rhode Island over the last several weeks has built its capacity, has included municipal leaders in it, included the Rhode Island Emergency Management, has included our National Guard, our pharmacies, and then we're doing a walk-up type of now vaccination site. So no, it didn't surprise me. When I'm going to be surprised, like I think we got another 16,000 shots. Remember, these extra shots are coming from states that haven't been able to get their vaccine out as quickly as we have. Reason that we're receiving those extra doses is that we're being recognized as a state that can get the shots out. So right now, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be Electric Boat tomorrow. We're going to be at Amgen. We're going to be into the high schools. We start in Cranston High School this week. So yeah, our work, and I knew this was coming, as I've been saying all along, that right now there's going to become a point where our supply exceeds our demand, and we are getting there. But that means that what we need to do is we need to be smart about actually getting our feet on the ground and being site-specific in our efforts to continue to get the shots in the arms. We'll be approaching 70% by the end of this week, no later than Mother's Day. But now to get that last 140,000 shots, we're going to have to be very local, very site-specific. And that's where the next level of work and that kind of the pick and shovel work, if you want to say, is going to come into play.
As I ride around Rhode Island, I see more and more signs from companies looking for employees. Yet we still have a number of people who are on unemployment. I heard the statement, I guess, from the acting DLT director about becoming a little bit more stringent about requiring people to demonstrate that they are out looking for jobs. Is that going to happen? How stringent is the state going to be about that?
So we're really aware of that, Frank, and it's a national issue, right? This is not a local issue. This is a national issue. The reason that we have it is because of the unemployment bonus. There's a good reason why people are staying on unemployment. They're earning more money than they could if they were on an hourly wage working with the businesses that need them. So we're doing three things that I think are important. One is that, we're as you've reported, we're being as aggressively as we can and still being safe in terms of our reopening strategy. So this incremental flexibility that I've talked about for several weeks is really kicking in. So that's good, because we never wanted to reopen something and then have to go backwards. So we're trying to really measure it. So that's one thing. We're being as aggressive as we can with that incremental flexibility. The other one, as you said, we are asking the General Assembly to pass some legislation that'll make it, that'll give more flexibility to be on unemployment, and you can work more hours and still keep the $300. That would, which I've stated publicly, that the $300 moving with the person unemployed to the workplace makes sense to me under the current circumstances, because we don't control that bonus. So we might as well understand that we got to do the best we can to get people working. I also believe that that the reverse is true. So businesses that need employees and they get some people on unemployment and they're collecting the $300, if they want to shape their structure of their system in terms of employment system, and they want to give people who are working right now the same work schedule and they can go on unemployment and collect the $300, that's not coming out of our pocket. That's coming out of DC's pocket, more money into the state. So we're going to try to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to get people into the workforce, and then everything we can to make sure that the people who are currently working in these jobs, primarily hourly rate jobs that we're talking about, also are not being being overlooked in terms of what's fair in the mix. So, and then finally, as you just said, Frank, and Matt Weldon, he was very involved with us. I feel so comfortable in being in that spot of DLT director. He was virtually on every single one of our small business calls, virtual town halls, helping out hundreds of people and responding in such a positive way as our office was getting information that was going to help people on the unemployment and help businesses do the work share program. So yes, he's publicly stated that as we open up, as we get closer to Memorial Day, that we're gonna make sure that the people who are collecting are actually seeking out jobs. So that's going to also, be the third thing in terms of this process. One is reopen safely. The other one is create a strategy to make sure that the $300 bonus doesn't go away for any of our employees that could qualify. And then the last one is to, really make it a condition of unemployment that you're looking for work.
You're going to remove his acting status, make him permanent?
I think it's permanent this week. We put his name in, for that consideration. And I've been told, I've been meeting with the Senate president and the speaker every Monday evening through the session to just kind of touch base. It's a good learning curve for me to understand what's going on, but it's also good relationship building. So yeah, I was told that he's going to be confirmed this week, or at least his name is going in front of the Senate. I don't see any problem him being confirmed. So he'll become the director, along with Jim Thorson, who's my acting Department of Administration director, who was at DOR, and so as the Department of Revenue director, and now we've got him in that spot. And it will be submitting a name very shortly as Jim Thorson's replacing that Department of Revenue.
Governor, I just wanted to switch gears real quickly for one item, and it's been a bugaboo of mine for a while, and that's from the Rhode Island Board of Elections and their aging fines report. Now up to about $5 million, or a little bit less than $5 million, it's owed by a number of individuals, with the highest number close to $500,000. Governor Raimondo had put in legislation a few years ago that would have prohibited individuals from running for office if in fact their fines were over a certain level, but did not repeat that, I don't think, last year. I'm wondering if that's something that you would address, or you plan on addressing, since we know that there are people who owe substantial money who in fact run for office as well.
Yeah, so I can't really speak to that directly, Frank. I'm not really familiar with that background, but I do know that that they have a central collections unit. They've, at the Department of Revenue, and I don't know if it's into the people that you talk about, elected officials, but they've collected $1.6 million over the last a year or more. So yeah, I think that I always believe this to be true, that if somebody pays less, then somebody's paying more. If somebody's paying more than their fair share, somebody's paying too little. So I think that everybody should be paying their fair share. And if they owe the state money and they can't prove that they don't owe the state money, then they should pay the state the money.
You're muted, Ryan.
Last one for me. Bonds, they all passed. Any thought, when is that money moving out to affordable housing and things like that?
Yeah, so I think that it'll be a case-by-case scenario, Ryan, right? To make sure that, that the debt capacity of the state matches the borrowing. I always felt as though that's really important. But those projects there are important as well. I think that's in this thing that we're talking about, is that those bond dollars that have been approved, the dollars that will be coming in from federal dollars, all need to get into the mix. That's why we're launching a Rhode Island 2030, the beginning of a Rhode Island 2030 plan this week, which will be on a broadcast like this, and then start to really talking about exactly that. How do you take advantage of the opportunities that the COVID has brought to us, right? So there's going to be a significant GDP growth in the country. We want to be strategizing to take advantage of that. And that's going to even put us in, hopefully in a position where we can accelerate some of these investments that the taxpayers have approved.
Excellent. And do you see the May 28 lift being the big lift for the summer, or you see more coming down?
I think you're going to see more coming down. I think that what we need to do is we need to really take a look at what happens to Mother's Day. If the projections that I believe we're going to happen, we exceed those. Then take a look at the next few weeks leading up to Memorial Day, I don't see anything coming from Mother's Day to Memorial Day. There's going to be a couple tweaks in about, some of the sport programs and some of the ways they do. The CDC came out with a national thing today that talked about outside mask wearing. So we're going to certainly, as the CDC changes some of its positions, we'll be flexible enough to change them quickly. But yes, I think that we're going to continue to see more and more improvement in terms of the flexibility in those areas, even after Memorial Day, Ryan.
Excellent. Governor gets the last word. Anything we missed today?
No, I think you covered it. I think that we're going to invite people to get involved in this 2030 planning, and we're going to kick that off on Thursday evening. So inviting everybody to kind of say, hey, what do you want Rhode Island to look like 10 years from now under the current circumstances? How do we take advantage of the opportunities that are going to come our way in terms of resetting areas, and then the substantial amount of dollars that are going to come into our state, and it's going to increase the GDP by that's suggesting as much as 7%. So we want to make sure that the state of Rhode Island is able to benefit as much as we can strategically make possible. So we invite people to be contacted in our office, participate in that conversation about, especially as we're coming out of the COVID, we still are cautious, and as we should be, because we want to make sure that we don't go backwards. But we are still thinking out in advance, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, and how we invest the dollars that are available, and how we set up the state in a way that is very future thinking, so that our state is really benefiting from every opportunity we can possibly put on the table.
Excellent. Frank?
Governor, thank you very much. Appreciate you being with us today, and probably about 1,000 more questions, but we'll get to that next time.
We'll get to that. Well, keep on inviting me. I'll keep on showing up.
And let us know. We want to hear it here first if Dr. Fauci's coming to Newport.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? We'll try to. If he does, I'm going to try to have him come right on your program.
There you go. We'll do
right.
that.
We'll see whether he's willing to do that. All right.
All right, there, Governor. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Governor.
All right, Frank Prosnitz and Governor McKee taking a couple minutes to speak to us today, and we appreciate and thank him for that time.
Yeah, it's always good to check in with the governor. A lot more issues out there, but really focusing in on COVID, that's the issue that's on everybody's plate. There's a strange story out of the Miami Herald today. I don't know if it was today or the last couple of days, of a private school in Miami that has told teachers that if they are vaccinated, they don't have a job, and their fear was that the vaccinations cause some kind of problems, but they recognize that they have no scientific foundation for what they're saying. Kind of strange.
Really nice. And we got emailed a lot of questions from readers, and what we'll do is we will pack them all together, and the questions that we had that we didn't get to, the questions that you had that we didn't get to, and we'll send them over to the governor's office and see what we can get answered.
They've been actually, his staff has been responsive. So I think that, we always had a good relationship with them when he was lieutenant governor, and the staff has pretty much moved to the governor's office. So I would expect they would be cooperative. In fact, all the general officers, the Secretary of State, the General Treasurer, have all been very cooperative with us whenever we've looked to have them on.
Excellent. All right. Well, we thank the governor again. If you missed this, you can catch it on whatsupnewp.com. You can share it, watch it anytime afterward. And if you had a question we didn't get to, we're going to try to get the answer for. If you still have a question, email me, Ryan@whatsupnewp.com. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
All right. So that's going to do it for us today. For the very latest, visit whatsupnewp.com.